Hey, what's up, comic family? It's your boy, the Bearded Comic Bro, and I am back again with another podcast, video, blog thing, whatever you want to call it. A couple weeks ago, I started my first ever podcast, and I said, you know what? The world needs more podcasts, and people need to hear me talk about things, because why not? Let's be honest. Who cares, though, right? If we're talking comics, the world needs more of that anyways. So, but for my first episode, a couple weeks ago, I talked about what my top 10 favorite series of 2019 were, where I kind of just broke down like, hey, these were the series that I really dug. And for this review, I'm going to talk about what were my favorite issues of January here. The month of January, we had some really good books come out, and I just want to share, like, these were the top 5 books that I read that I was like, yes, I really dug them. I picked them up at my local comic shop and started digging into them and said, yes, this is some good stuff. So these are just my top 5 picks. I'm not going to come at it with any certain order. These are just my 5 favorite books for January. So if you like this video, if you like the last one, make sure you subscribe, click like, share it with your friends, let people know. If you don't like this video, that's fine too. Feel free to dislike it. I don't care. Share it with your enemies. Share it with people you don't like. Trick them. Like, oh, hey guys, check out this guy. It's a really good podcast. You'll like it. And when they don't, they'll be like, what did you? I don't care. I just want to get more people to get to hear comic talk in the world, because the world's a better place when we're talking about comics. Let's be honest.
Better put the word out. Get ready for the nerd out. Better put specs on. Better break necks on. I caught handsome checks for my expansion sets. They call me Obi-Wan. Act like you know me, son.
So, hey, just remember, before I jump into the first book, there's going to be minor spoilers. So if this book is in your read pile or any of them, make sure you just skip ahead in the video or come back after you've read the book, so I don't spoil anything for you. Probably not going to go into too much detail, but there's going to be some minor spoilers. So up first is Star Wars. If you know me, you know I love Star Wars. And so Marvel has relaunched the Star Wars series. And this is a really cool concept, because what it does is it takes place immediately following what happens in Empire Strikes Back. And it's cool because I think if you watch Return of the Jedi, you're like, okay, there's some jumps in that movie from Empire Strikes Back that you're like, how did we get to here? And so the writer for this series, Chuck Soule, man, he's jumped out of the gate. There's 2 so far, but I'm just talking about issue 1 right now. And it has been a fun ride. I mean, if you are a Star Wars fan in any capacity and you're not checking out this book, you are doing yourself a disservice. By all means, check out that book. It's fantastic. So up next, another Marvel book. If you know me, my last video I said I'm a DC guy through and through. So for my first 2 books to be put out by Marvel, that says a lot. And to be a Thor book, because I'm not a big Thor guy. But this is a really cool book too, because this is the Comic Tom variant cover. Get that if you're subscribed to his mystery mail call. Super cool. I'll put his links and stuff in the bio below. But really cool mystery grab bag. You get some exclusive content, exclusive variant covers. So check that out for sure. You could have gotten this dope variant right here. But Thor is it's a fun ride. It's written by none other than Donny Cates, and he jumps out the gate just killing this series. I'm excited to get into it. Excited to know a little bit more about the Thor world. If I'm being honest, I don't know too much outside of the MCU. But right off, one of the first couple panels, Thor's retiring, if you know stuff from the past series that went on, but he throws Mjolnir, his hammer, out at one point and it lands on Earth right by where Tony Stark, Iron Man, is fighting. And Tony Stark, being Tony Stark, is just like, hey, yo, does anyone have a Sharpie? And he writes on Mjolnir and throws it. And so when Thor gets his hammer back, and there on Mjolnir right there, it's in Sharpie, it's like, enjoy your retirement, bud. Like, classic Tony Stark move right there. But I was like, okay, this is what we're in for with Donny Cates. And he just, it's a fun book so far. So I'm excited to see where he goes. So if you haven't jumped into this series, the second one just came out today. So you can absolutely get plugged in right off the bat. But such a good book. Up next, we got Adelphia. This is a book by Image Comics. It is written by Rodney Barnes, and he is writing a fantastic story here. So this is a premise of, if you know, Philadelphia is kind of birthplace of U.S. stuff. So a lot of historical things take place. And so it's playing off of that, throwing in a mix of vampires, because who doesn't love a good vampire story? But what's really cool about this is I think it takes it to another level than what you get in some of those stories. And you see that in the dynamic in the relationship between the father and son, the main characters here, and the story. So you can tell they've had a rough relationship most of their life. And as the son goes to, in the first issue, goes to kind of deal with the death of his dad. Spoiler alert, finds out at the end he got turned to a vampire. And so issue 2 here picks up with them kind of investigating what's going on, because his dad was a cop. And so, but they're still trying to figure out the dynamics of their relationship, of how to take a broken relationship and just still continue on, and how do you grow from that. So it's not just a vampire book, like there's layers here, and it's a really cool book to read. I'm excited to see where Rodney takes this and just runs with it. So if you haven't checked out Adelphia, again, third book just came out today, so you can easily jump into this series. It is going to be something I think you'll really enjoy. So next book on the list from IDW is called Killock. This is such a cool concept. This is set in a world that's filled with robots, robot society, robot worlds, all that jazz. And I believe it's 4 or 5 robots are the main characters here. And what happens is, in this society, when you are sent for a death penalty or crime or something, instead of going to jail, what they do is they put on what they call a kill lock. And so this happens is you now are connected with the other 4 robots, and if one of them is to die, all other robots connected through this kill lock die as well. So you have the personalities of robots who've committed these crimes, and how they have to work together and how they have to survive together to adapt and to try to figure out how can they get this kill lock removed so that they can go their separate ways and live life. This is a cool concept. It's something unique, something I haven't seen before. So this is just something that, again, issue 2. So if you haven't checked this out, this is a great time to jump in. Really excited to see where we go with this story, because I think it can take a lot of different routes and different turns. And they're slowly starting to incorporate the different backstories into the robots to find out why they are there. So you got some that you're like, oh yeah, you deserve to be there. And then you got some you're like, what? And so that adds another dynamic layer to it. So definitely, if you haven't checked out Killock, go for it. Go to your local comic book shop, pick it up for sure. Last but not least, I sitting back here, my shrine of Batman. I love Batman. So this is Batman issue number 87. So this is the second issue in James Tynion's run now of Batman. He took over for Tom King. The first issue that he did, 86, was really good. You definitely see he's taking the Batman world into a different direction now, and that's okay. I'm good with that. I enjoyed Tom King's run, but I just love Batman. So I think if you didn't like King's run, this is going to be more rooted into a Batman comic that you like. It reminds me of some of the last issues of Detective Comics that he was writing before he's jumped over to the Batman series. What's really cool about this is you see Batman now in kind of a different world of James is releasing his characters now and his stories that he wants to tell. And so we kind of picked up in the last issue with Bruce wanting to kind of revitalize Gotham City. And so he's trying to set some structures in place. And this picks up with just an onslaught of villains in here with Deathstroke, with Penguin, with the Riddler, and it's kind of just this trying to figure out what is going on in this world now, and you see, just like usual, there's someone that's out to get Batman, that is being kind of the puppet master over everything, and it's cool to see his take on it. And if you know anything about James's books, he loves to throw in different bat gadgets and bat vehicles. So we've already had 2 Buck Wild ones in his first 2 issues. So that's a fun little cool thing to see that has happened. So that's it. Those are my favorite 5 books so far in the month of January. I'm probably pulling 10 books a week or so. So there's a lot that I'm liking. There's a lot that I'm reading. There still are probably some books that I'm missing. So feel free to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Bearded Comic Bro. Let's talk. Let's share. Tell me what you're reading. Tell me what I'm missing out on. What I love about technology is it's been able to give us this vibe of nothing's better than walking into a comic book shop, right? And talking just about things that you love, like comic books and collecting and movies that you've just watched. And so social media has kind of created that environment that we can take the comic book shop home with us. So if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, follow me on my other forms of social media at the Bearded Comic Bro. Let's continue talking. And yeah, so take care.